And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the old ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. Nowadays, Volcano, California is a sleepy ghost town in the Mother Lode country. But there are still a few reminders of the time when there was an eruption at Volcano. It is the spring of 1861.
Let us pray. We thank thee, O Lord, for thy blessing so abundantly bestowed. We ask thee to guide our nation safely through these troubled times, that there may be peace between the states of the Union.
Fort Sumter surrendered. Lincoln has declared war.
I knew it would happen. Friends.
I knew it was coming.
It won't last long. The South can't hold out against the Union Army.
And don't you ever forget, first, last, and always, we're Southerners.
That's right.
Confederacy needs us. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Quiet, gentlemen. Quiet, gentlemen, quiet. This is a house of God. We must not let this tragic news divide us. In this church, there are men of goodwill on both sides. We must not forget our common brotherhood.
Reverend, we have no brotherhood with the North.
Mr. Taylor, the war is 2,000 miles away. We are Californians now.
A lot of us don't feel that way.
Mr. Taylor's right, Dad. Too late to be neutral. This is war and we're Southerners.
You're right, Joel.
I wish I was in the land of cotton, yarn brown body, by the morning in the gray. Calais, by the eyes of Tennessee land, where I was born, where the old Rocky Mountain the grave.
Gentlemen!
It's Dixieland,
Gentlemen!
We've been waiting for you, Joel.
Sorry we're late.
Gentlemen, I've seen this coming for a long time, and I've been making plans. Now tell me, what does the South need more than anything else?
Money. Yeah, that's right. Money.
Exactly. The South needs gold. And here in Volcano, that bank is bulging with it.
We're going to send it all to Richmond. How can we send it when it's not our gold?
This is war, Joel.
That's right.
Now, we outnumber the Northerners 3-1. And by rights, this town should be ours. Now, I think we owe it to the South to send them that gold. Now, is there a man among us who lacks the courage to fight for the Confederate cause? And that settles it. We'll make our move Friday noon before they have a chance to ship that gold out of here. And when Friday comes, we're going to take over this town in the name of President Davis. Now I want you to go outside and line up every loyal Southerner. Let's go. You all. Come on, let's go.
You did all right. You really got them fired up.
You can't beat patriotism if you want to put something over on the people. You know, Randolph, by this time next Friday, you and I are going to be two of the richest men in California. Here's to the war.
Hello, Joel.
Hello, Ellie.
Where you been all day?
Oh, I had a few things to tend to.
Well, come on over here so we can talk.
After what Dad said about this here place of yours at church on Sunday, I didn't know if you'd want to talk to me anymore or not.
Oh, I don't blame him. He's in one business, I'm in another. Besides, it's what you think that really matters.
I'm here. Confidentially. What he said in church is nothing to what he's been preaching to me on the side.
Well, now I'm going to do some preaching. Are you mixed up in what's going on in this town, Joel?
How do you know what's going on?
Men who drink talk. Stay out of it, Joel. Please.
I'm a Southerner.
You were a Southerner. Now you're a Westerner. Don't help to bring the war out here.
It's already here, Ellie. It's up to every man to choose the side he believes in and fight for it.
All right. Go on, be a hot-headed fool and fight. I might do some fighting myself.
Well, Miss Worth, this is a pleasant surprise, seeing you come through that door.
I didn't come here to get religion, Reverend Coleman.
Frankly, I felt it was a little too much to hope for. However, I'm glad you're here. It's high time we had to talk about my son.
I didn't come here to talk about Joel either. Reverend Coleman, there's going to be a lot of bloodshed in this town unless someone does something to stop it. Bart Taylor's organizing all the Southern sympathizers. Next Friday, they plan to take over Volcano, seize the bank, the mines, and take all the gold.
Why did you come to me? I'm a Southerner myself.
Yes, but first you are a man of peace.
What is your interest, Miss Worth?
Well, let's just say I'm a businesswoman. If this town should turn into a battleground, I lose a lot of customers. And so do you.
We seem to have something in common, although for different reasons. But what can we do? Talking will get us nowhere. I had a sample of that in church this morning.
You can go to San Francisco and get some troops. The soldiers in town, they'll think twice before they start anything.
Well, that's a good idea. Why don't you act on it yourself?
Well, I believe in a matter like this, Reverend Coleman. Your social standing would have more influence with the Army than mine.
Miss Worth, in many ways, I've underestimated you. Since this seems to be a moment of frankness, I'd like to ask you a question. Is your interest in my son sincere or only for the purpose of hurting me?
In some ways, Reverend Coleman, I overestimated you.
Come in, Joel. Have a drink.
What do you want to see me about, Bart?
I have a job for you, Joel. One that's going to test your loyalty to the cause. There's a man riding to San Francisco to get the Army to send some troops up here.
You want me to stop him?
Well, you know what soldiers in Volcano will do to our cause.
There'll be no soldiers.
It might call for a little rough treatment.
I'm a soldier myself, fighting for the South. If necessary, I'll kill for it. Who is this man?
Your father.
What are you doing here?
Waiting for you. I'm going along.
You know where I'm going and why?
Ellie told me.
Well, that's funny. Your sympathies are with the uprising.
Well, I thought they were, but After talking to Ellie, I realized there'll be enough battlefields without making Volcano one of them.
Well, I'm glad to have you with me, son. Now, we better ride if we're going to get that riverboat to San Francisco. I beg your pardon. Would you tell me where Army headquarters are?
Sure, at the Presidio. Right that way, you can't miss it.
Well, thank you.
Reverend, it sounds serious. How many men do you think it would take?
Oh, I think 20 or 30 would do it. All we have to do is make a show of authority, and I'm sure there'll be no trouble.
When would they have to be there?
Before noon next Friday.
Well, I'm short of men right now, but if it's as urgent as you say,
I assure you, Colonel, it's mighty urgent. If this uprising is not prevented, it might start a rebellion that would spread through the state.
Yes, that's right. Well, men will be ready to leave tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Colonel.
Thank you for bringing the matter to my attention, Reverend. Times like this, we can't take too many precautions.
No, sir. Come along, Joel.
Good day, young man.
Good day, sir.
Thank God. That was a good day's work, Joel.
My hat. I left it in the colonel's office. You go on ahead and I'll catch up with you. Excuse me, Colonel, but I wanted to tell you not to pay any attention to what my father said.
What's that?
Well, I didn't want to say anything in front of him, and I didn't have an opportunity to contact you beforehand, but, well, my father has a tendency towards delusions.
Delusions?
Yes, sir, and an overactive imagination. He has a habit of making something out of nothing. It's been quite a problem to me. Well, he once suspected our wealthiest church member of stealing from the collection plate.
Do you mean to tell me there's nothing to worry about in Volcano?
Yes, sir. Nothing whatsoever. He heard a few people voicing their sentiments, and right away, in his mind, that meant rebellion.
I certainly appreciate your information, young man. I don't have troops to send on a wild goose chase.
But when you tell my father that you've changed your mind, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't mention what I just said.
No, yes, of course, I understand.
Excuse me, I forgot my hat.
I just can't understand it. Yesterday, the colonel agrees to give the soldiers, and today he changes his mind.
The colonel explained it to you, Dad. He said he got word the troops are needed more in Monterey.
I got a feeling he was just making an excuse.
Well, there's nothing more we can do about it.
I can't believe that the Lord wants me to fail. This is our answer, Joel. This cannon and Volcano will have more authority than 50 soldiers.
Oh, forget it, Dad. Well, we haven't a chance of hauling this into town in a wagon.
Well, why not?
Well, they'd take it away from us.
Yeah, you're right. Then we won't use a wagon. Well, we're making mighty good time. We'll have that cannon and Volcano long before any trouble starts. I can't tell you, son, what it means to me to have you with me on this trip. You know, this is more time than we've spent together in many months. And to think that I have Miss Worth to thank for that. The ways of the Lord are strange indeed. Now, Joel, break a wheel, we'll never get there.
We'll grab off the bank first, then the express office. Then we'll move on the mines and clean them out.
By that time, we ought to have a wagon load of gold.
Should have. And just to keep up the appearances, I'm going to have some of the men ride along with us south for the first 100 miles. And then when they leave us, we'll head north to Denver.
The Northerners have got wind of our plan of taking over the town.
How do you know that?
They're all barricading themselves in the bank. And they sent out riders to round up the rest of them.
We'll make our move before noon. Get word to the Diggins and all the other places. Have those men get in here as fast as they can.
Right.
We'll still get what we're after.
Where's everybody going? It's a long time till noon, Lois.
We ain't waiting till noon, Ellie. We're gonna march on this town just as soon as we can all get together.
Give me my gun. I'm gonna ride out and meet the soldiers, hurry them up. And just in case I don't get them back in time, close the place up and board up the windows.
Before we get to town, you better drop off and let me go in alone. Some of your hard-headed friends might not understand your change of heart.
They might not understand what you're trying to do either. I'd advise you to give it up, Dad. Stick to your preaching.
There are all kinds of preaching, son. This is the one kind that I think they'll listen to. Oh! What you stopping for?
One of the traces is loose. We fix it, Dad?
Certainly.
Sorry, Dad, but this cannon will never be used against the South.
Told me you went to Carson City.
Well, I didn't. I went with Dad. If you're wondering where he is, you'll find him back down the road.
Are there any soldiers with him?
There won't be any soldiers. I took care of that.
You took care of him?
I'm fighting for the South, remember?
What did you do to your father?
Just left him to walk. So he won't be sneaking into town with a cannon that's in this here hearse.
I don't know how he planned on using that cannon, but I'm on his side. Now back up to that wide space in the road and turn around. Let's go get him.
Put that away, Ellie.
You better take me seriously, Joel. I mean it.
I'll see you back in town, Ellie.
Now climb down from there.
All right, here you go. Yep.
Where's Taylor? Tell him to come on out. We want to get started.
Take it easy. Keep your shirt on. All the men out here yet, and the stronger we are, the less them Yankees gonna feel like fighting.
Attention, men!
Quiet here. I'm going to tell you.
Quiet! Quiet! Now, I've decided not to wait any longer for the rest of the men.
Hey!
Now, we're going to march on the bank first. Now, I don't want any shooting unless they refuse to surrender. So wait for my command before you cut loose with those guns. Understand?
Yeah.
Now, we don't have any uniforms. We haven't had any chance to drill. But I want you to remember this. We're still soldiers of the South.
Hey!
I want you to go outside there and act in a way that will make Jeff Davis proud of you.
That's right.
I understand that Joel went along with you.
He sure did.
Where is he?
Why, he's behind us.
What's the hearse for?
What's the hearse usually for, Randolph?
He's gonna haul them Yankees away in it. And Ellie's gonna play nurse.
That's right, fellas. And I have plenty of bandages for both sides.
Save 'em for the Yankees, Ellie. All we want from you is whiskey, right, fellas?
All right, man, open up. Let him through. Come on there. Come on. Come on there. Come on.
Come on, man. I've got a cannon in here. Get Joel out there.
Take it into the back. When do you get the hearse out there?
Taking over this town in the name of the Confederacy.
Yeah.
You've got 1 minute to come out and surrender. You haven't got a chance of holding us off. I warn you, open that door and come out.
They're coming out. Where'd they get that?
I'm a man of peace. But as the Lord is my judge, I'll set the torch to this cannon if any one of you makes a move towards this building. Now listen to me. Listen and think. Many of you came to this town when it was nothing, like I did. You helped to build it, took pride in it. Many of you have your families here, plan to spend the rest of your lives here. This is your town. Would you destroy it by looting and robbing? Staining its streets with blood? Any of you who have an honest desire to fight for the Southern cause should join the Confederate Army and do it honorably. But don't bring the war to Volcano.
That's just a bunch of fancy words, man. Pay no attention to them.
Ben! Ben, come on, Ben. Ben, you can't quit now. I'm changing my mind.
Randall! You're wasting your breath.
But our plan.
Reverend Coleman and that cannon just blew our plans all to pieces.
You were right in what you told him, Dad. I'm glad I was forced to listen and think, too.
Well, it's all over now, son. Let's forget about it, shall we?
We ought to fire the cannon once, Reverend, just to celebrate.
I'm afraid that would be impossible. There's no powder in it. Thank the Lord. They didn't know it.
And so the threat of volcano erupting into another battlefield was averted, thanks to a minister who knew how to fight for peace. And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the old ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. This story I'm about to tell is laid in San Francisco during the afterglow of the gold rush. In fact, I don't know of any other time or place where it could have happened. Only a city like San Francisco, with its generous heart, its sense of humor, its sentimentality, could claim a personage like Emperor Norton. Joshua Norton arrived in California by ship in 1849 at the height of the gold rush and immediately established himself as a commission merchant dealing in all kinds of commodities. Within a few years, he had become one of San Francisco's most prosperous and respected businessmen, with a reputation for shrewdness, daring, and absolute integrity.
This is the greatest operation he's put over yet. Cornering the rice market.
Nobody but Norton would be bold enough to risk it.
If it was anyone but Norton, believe me, I never would have gone in on it.
That man can't fail. He's a genius.
Ah, Cooper and Duffy, come in. Sit down.
Good morning, Norton.
Good morning.
Thank
Make
you
yourselves comfortable.
Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, it looks as though we'd pulled it off. As of this moment, we control the entire rice supply of San Francisco.
What about the shipment that arrived yesterday from Peru?
It's ours. I agreed to buy the entire cargo at 12.5 cents a pound. Here's the contract. I gave them $2,000 cash. The balance, $23,000, we'll pay out of our profits.
How long do you think we should hold on?
Yes, rice was quoted today at 32 cents. That's already a profit of 150%.
It'll go higher. China has prohibited all further exports of rice. I look for the price to reach 40. When it does, we'll unload.
You have got nerve, Norton.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. I think the occasion calls for a little celebration.
Look at these figures. They're simply staggering.
We're sitting on top of the world.
Well, gentlemen, to a very Merry Christmas.
Mr. Norton.
And a Happy New Year.
News. Telegraph Hill. Ship come in. Bring rice.
Rice?
Heap, heap rice.
Let's get down to the wharf.
We've got to buy it up.
The whole cargo? 250 barrels?
If it's dumped on the market, we're ruined.
We're already way overextended.
My credit's good.
All right. Lot number one, gentlemen. 15 barrels of fine rice, over at 12 cents a pound. 12 cents a pound, gentlemen. Who wants
12 cents?
12 cents? What do I hear?
It was 32. It's already dropped 20 points.
Gentlemen, 12
Taken.
cents. Sold to Mr. Joshua Norton.
Man, are you crazy?
We've got to buy it up. Keep control of the market.
Our profits on the Peruvian rice are already wiped out.
We can recoup them if we just don't lose our nerve.
Mr. Norton, please. Another ship just come through Golden Gate.
With rice?
The Dragon from China. 250,000 pounds.
Good heavens.
So there were to be no further exports from China.
Somebody circulated the rumor maliciously.
Oh, we still have a chance. If we throw in all our combined resources.
Not me, I'm through.
You'd welch on a contract?
What contract?
Your word as gentlemen.
Look, Norton, it'll do us no good having our names linked with yours in this big fiasco.
Any association we've had is terminated.
Please, gentlemen.
Mr. Norton?
Oh, Godfrey.
Sit down.
The balance of $23,000 you owe us on the cargo of Peruvian rice.
I don't want it. I have no place to store it. Sell it to somebody else.
At 4 cents a pound? When you've guaranteed us 12.5 cents?
I haven't got it.
Then we'll sue.
What are you all? A pack of jackals? The man's in trouble. You fall upon him, tear him to pieces.
Oh, Mr. Dubois.
Mr. Norton, may I have a word with you?
Come in. Sit down. I'm sorry I can't offer you a cigar, but I've given up smoking.
The matter I have to broach is a rather delicate one.
I owe you money.
You have always been one of this hotel's most esteemed guests, Mr. Norton. However, if you could favor us with a remittance.
6 months in arrears.
A certified check, perhaps.
My account at the bank has been closed, Mr. Dubois. Perhaps you'd accept my watch as partial payment. It's a good watch, a gift from my parents on the occasion of my 21st birthday. And these cufflinks also are fairly valuable. And I have several scarf pins, one of them a diamond. If these articles aren't enough to cover the amount due, you're welcome to anything in my wardrobe.
Cooper, I say, Cooper. It's good to see you.
Well, Norton, I thought you'd left town.
No, I'm still around.
Keeping busy?
Quite. I have a number of lawsuits on my hands.
Yes, I read about them. Well, glad to have seen you.
Cooper, I wonder if you could do me a favor.
If it's money, no.
Well, just a small loan.
I've got all I can do to keep my own head above water.
But I could pay you back in a few days.
You don't seem to realize, Norton, these are hard times. I mean for everybody. We're in the midst of a financial depression here in San Francisco.
I'm quite aware of it.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that fiasco of yours is what touched the whole thing off. You and your grandiose ideas.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm in a hurry.
Grandiose ideas, but I didn't ruin anybody else. I'm not responsible for the depression. I love San Francisco. Its people are my people. This town is my town. This country is my country.
I heard voices. I thought you had company. I won't be but a minute. I'll just give the price for licking, I promise.
You're from London.
How'd you guess?
That's where I was born.
God save the Queen.
I'm a United States citizen now. Took out my papers when California joined the Union.
God save the President.
Sometimes I think it would be better if we did have a king. This is a great country, America. There's something wrong with the way it's being governed. Look at me. At one time, I was one of the richest men in San Francisco, worth $250,000.
Ooh.
And now, reduced to this. I've lost everything. Friends, position, self-respect.
Your wife?
I have no family. I'm alone in the world.
Of course, me. I've always been poor. Don't expect to be anything else.
There should be laws against poverty. Here in the land of plenty, a city built on gold, we have a depression, business failures, bank closures.
Whose fault is it?
That's what I say. The men who are running things. Believe me, if I were the ruler, you'd see great changes. Things like this would never happen.
I hope you get there, sir, to the White House.
The United States is too big to be a republic, or even a kingdom. It should be an empire. If I were emperor, I'd make things right.
I'll be leaving. Your Majesty. My knees, Barney.
Yes, I, Emperor Norton.
We're still short a copy, Chief, for tonight's edition.
This town is certainly in the doldrums. No fires, no murders, no new gold strikes. People aren't even writing letters to the editor. Looks like I'm going to have to write another editorial. Oh, well. Come in.
I wish to see the editor.
I'm the editor.
I have a proclamation I wish published.
At the peremptory request and desire of the large majority of the citizens of these United States, I, Joshua Norton, for the past 9 years and 10 months of San Francisco, California, declare and proclaim myself Emperor of these United States, and direct the representatives of the different states of the Union to assemble in Musical Hall of this city on the first day of February next, then and there to make such alterations in the existing laws of the Union as may ameliorate the evils under which the country is laboring, and thereby cause confidence to exist, both at home and abroad, in our stability and integrity.
Signed, Norton the First, Emperor of the United States, 17th of September, 1859. Represent this individual?
I am Emperor Norton. Give the proclamation a prominent place in your paper.
Oh, yes, sir.
And save me a copy.
Yes, Your Majesty. That's that fellow Norton that failed in that great rice debacle.
Must have unhinged him. Another guy who thinks he's Napoleon.
No, not Napoleon at all. Emperor of these United States.
Mad as a March hare.
Writes a superior English. I won't have to do any editing.
You're not really going to publish it.
Certainly I am. San Francisco needs a good laugh. Besides, this will save me from writing another editorial.
I, Joshua Norton, for the last 9 years and 10 months past of San Francisco, California, declare and proclaim myself Emperor of these United States.
I often wondered what happened to him after the crash.
So now you know.
Norton First, Emperor of the United States, 17th September, 1859. Joshua Norton. Wong all the time running errands for him. That was his office right there.
Emperor of the United States. Perhaps if we hadn't turned him out. But what is a hotel keeper to do?
The slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. A man's mind can suffer just so much, it seems.
me, Your Majesty. Oh, no drink, thank you. I'll just regale myself with a little food. Help yourself. You see our sign up there.
Publishes all those crazy notices of Norton's in the paper. Dissolving Congress. Abolishing the Supreme Court.
I publish it.
Why? Why do you do it?
For the same reason that everybody else in San Francisco humors him. Makes him happy and it does no harm.
He can walk into a saloon like this?
He has the freedom of the city. Eats in the finest restaurants and attends all plays and concerts.
When he enters a theater, the whole audience rises and remains standing until he's seated.
Rides free on all public transportation.
He never pays for anything?
Oh, he often pays. In scrip.
Worthless money.
Not at all. Promissory notes complete with seal and vignette of His Majesty.
For the sum of 50 cents at 7% interest, payable in 1880? Where in the world does he get this stuff printed?
At our shop.
Printers to His Imperial Majesty Norton the First?
He promised me the post of Chancellor of the Exchequer one of these days.
Give me another drink. Begging for royal favors, eh? Here you are, you bummer. Where did he get his uniform?
Oh, the Presidio keeps him supplied.
Another beggar at my heels. All that's left is crumbs, but you're welcome to them. Like the beggar Lazarus in the Bible. Plumber and Lazarus, my bodyguards. This is the day of the month that we collect the taxes. Behave yourselves when we get inside. These are some of the biggest banks and business houses in San Francisco. Your tax this month is $5, a slight increase. But there have been heavy drains of late on the Treasury. A coin of the realm, if you please.
Oh, certain.
Here's your receipt.
Thank you.
Do you mind if I sit here a minute? My feet get very tired.
Glad to have you. I can remember when I used to visit in your office. How's everything going?
Congress in Washington still continues to defy me. I've ordered the Army to use force if necessary to clear the halls.
I read the manifesto in the paper.
But here in California, the empire is gradually being recognized. I hope before long to take over the new Palace Hotel as my headquarters. It'll be an improvement over the place I now live. Good day, sir.
Good day, Your Majesty.
Come, Bummer. Come, Lazarus. Emperor of Brazil, in San Francisco. Reception tonight in his honor at the University of California. City officials and other dignitaries to be present. Did you hear that, Bummer, Lazarus? All during my reign, this is as close as I've ever come to the crowned heads of the world. But now, tonight, at last, I shall shake the hand of a fellow emperor. Good evening, Dr. Gilman. And how are things at the University of California?
Good evening, sir. Your university is in fine shape, Emperor Norton. Your Majesty, may I present Emperor Norton of the United States of America.
And protector of Mexico.
This is a great honor.
I trust you are enjoying your sojourn in my capital.
I have toured most of the world, Your Majesty, and I am now convinced there's no other city quite like San Francisco.
Hear ye, all good Americans. Mark ye well the words I speak, for I speak from the pages of history. Come closer, come closer. This country is in dire straits.
What in the world is he advertising?
And where are we?
Himself. Just another San Francisco character along with Oofty Goofty and Emperor Norton. He claims to be the reincarnation of our first president.
Well, I must say, there's a remarkable resemblance.
Oh, look who's coming.
There is a job for every man. I will banish all taxes, and I will wipe poverty from the face of this fair land. Rally to the support of George Washington II.
What is the meaning of this?
I am the spirit of '76, the father of our country.
Why, you humbug! You imposter! How dare you perpetrate such a fraud on the people of San Francisco, my loyal subjects?
Your subjects? This is a republic.
This is an empire. I'll have you banished for sedition. George Washington, indeed. You're an insult to his memory, a disgrace to the American people. Get out before I call the police. Get out! Never dare show your face within these borders again, Sirrah. I guess that'll teach him and any other pretender that I am the one and only Emperor Norton.
For 21 years, Joshua Norton, always seen with his two dogs, Bummer and Lazarus, ruled his imaginary empire. Loved, humored, supported in his harmless fantasies. Maybe some of them weren't so fantastic at that. Now take the manifesto published in 1869. Commanding a suspension bridge to be built from San Francisco to Oakland by way of Yerba Buena. And people laughed. But here it is today, San Francisco Bay Bridge, following almost exactly the specifications the emperor laid down. And when in 1880 his reign came to a peaceful end, members of the Pacific Union Club on Nob Hill, an organization of prominent San Franciscans, whose present clubhouse you see here, provided the money for his funeral and subscribed the funds for the stone which marks his final resting place in the Woodlawn Masonic Cemetery of San Francisco. Emperor Norton, come into his own at last. And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the old ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. My story starts one day in 1892, when a stranger drifted into the desert mining camp of Darwin near Death Valley. He carried with him a small black bag, which contained what soon became famous as Pharaoh Bill's Layout. Within a few hours, he had made a deal with the owner of Darwin's big casino and set himself up with his Pharaoh layout.
See, we got a new Pharaoh dealer.
Where'd he come from?
How would I know? My guess would be either Frisco or Denver. He's got a smooth look about him.
Well, he better not try any of his slick tricks on us. We'll run him out of camp.
Listen to the Sidewinder. The fella's hardly unfolded his outfit, and already you think he's a crook.
Yeah, look at them hands. He wasn't born yesterday.
There's no law says you gotta play Pharaoh, Sidewinder. Go shoot craps. Try your luck at the wheel.
I happen to like Pharaoh.
Yeah, me too. Besides, I got a new system I want to try out.
Again?
You sound like my wife. I gotta go home and get some dough.
Hey, give my regards to that pretty sister-in-law of yours.
Grace? Oh, I won't be seeing her, or Harriet either, I hope. I'm just gonna slip in the house and ride out again.
Game running? Call me Sidewinder on account of I'm quick and I'm deadly when I'm crossed.
They call me Pharaoh Bill. Place your bets, gentlemen.
What in the world is...
Oh, drat that cat. He jumped up in the mantelpiece and knocked the jar on the floor. Bad Samantha.
Give me the money.
Oh, Harriet.
I'm putting that money by for a sewing machine. It's not going to be squandered on gambling.
Who said anything about gambling?
You can't fool me, Tim Maloney. Bring me the broom and the dustpan, will you, Grace?
What broke?
The ginger jar.
Oh, what a shame.
Let Tim sweep it up.
Oh, not me. I got an appointment.
You're not going near that deadfall again.
Oh, now look, I can watch, can't I? Even if I can't play.
I don't trust you.
Oh, well, look at that. New fella's going to need somebody to keep cases for him.
What new fella?
Oh, new Pharaoh dealer just hit town.
Another?
Oh, this one isn't like the regular run of tin horns. He's got class.
Class?
Yeah, that's what I said.
I love that. A gambler with class.
What do you know about gamblers? You ever met one?
Heaven forbid.
Well, I bet if I brought this Pharaoh dealer home here, you wouldn't...
Tim, don't you dare.
No, I just said if.
There are some things I draw the line at, especially where there's a young, unmarried sister in the house.
Oh, for Pete's sake, you think it was like smallpox?
It's worse. You can vaccinate for smallpox. When you get married, Grace, marry a man who doesn't know one card from another.
I'll make sure of that, after seeing the cross you have to bear.
Of course, Tim isn't really bad. He don't drink or beat me up. And when I catch him like I did today, the money. He got away with it. He's taken it to the casino to play Pharaoh with. Oh, whatever am I going to do with that man?
Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your hurry?
Well, I'm late. I have to get home.
I'll take you there.
Thank you. I don't need an escort.
Oh, a pretty girl like you on a night like this, I know a shortcut.
No, let me go. Stop. Let me go. Stop.
Come on, give me a little kiss.
No. Help. 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 Help.
You all right? Stay away from this girl from now on. Savvy? I'll see you wherever you're going.
Oh, thank you. This is where I live.
Then I'll say goodnight.
Well, won't you come in and meet my folks? I know they'd like to thank you for what you did.
I'm already late for work.
Were you a minor?
No.
I didn't think you were, but you certainly used your fists like one. You were wonderful.
I'd like to see you again, if I may.
Why, yes.
When?
Oh, well, almost any evening.
Could you make it morning?
Morning?
I'll hire a rig at the livery and we'll go driving.
Well, that would be lovely.
Good night.
Good night.
Grace, we were getting worried about you. What happened?
Well, I was detained.
Here, you can take over.
Tim, I never knew such a shirker. I hope when you get a husband, Grace, he's domesticated.
What do you keep needling the poor girl for about getting married?
I want to see her happily settled.
I will be, one of these days.
Well, don't wait too long.
Yeah, grab the first man who asks you, like Harriet did.
Tim Maloney!
I wouldn't care if he was domesticated, if he had everything else I wanted in a man.
Such as what?
Courage and strength, the ability to stand up and fight for a woman, and yet tender.
You talking about somebody imaginary?
No, he's real.
Perfect description of me.
Tim, where are you going?
Where do you think? To buck the tiger.
Tim! Oh, of course. Today was payday. Who is this man you've met?
It's a funny thing. I forgot to ask his name.
Give me another one, Rusty.
I'll call a turn this time. My system's got to work.
Move over. I'm getting in on this game.
How many chips?
I'm putting cash money on this here layout.
Suit yourself.
And when I win, I want cash money in return. $50 on the 8 to win. $50 on the king to lose. Now turn your cards, dealer, and turn them square, or I'll peel the hide plumb off in your carcass.
Bet's closed, gentlemen.
Sidewinder's been hitting the bottom. He's looking for trouble.
8 loses. King wins. You bet it to lose.
Whipsaw, blast of luck.
This isn't your night to howl, Sidewinder. You better quit.
I'm going to clean up the shopper if it takes me all night. Hey, you. What kind of a limit do you have on this game?
For you, the sky.
Good. Because I'm going to bust the bank and get rid of this deadfall of yours once and for all. Here's $4,000 even. Turn your cards over for this, you piker.
Get it placed so there'll be no arguments after the cards fall.
I'm dropping out. When a game goes local like this, I quit.
Are you ready?
Go ahead and deal.
Five wins. No bet. 6 loses. Bank wins. 10 wins. No bet. 4 loses. Bank wins. 5 wins. No bet. 8 loses. Bank wins. 8 wins. No bet. Queen loses. Bank wins.
Why, you dirty crook, you can't get away with this.
Take it easy, Sidewinder.
This game is a skin and a brace. And I'm asking for my money back.
You're drunk.
I'm asking for it with this.
He's dead. Got him right through the heart.
I had no choice.
It was him or you.
You shot in self-defense. We'll testify to that.
The Sidewinder was a bad hombre. Darwin's well rid of him.
Carry him out in the back room, boys. We'll notify the coroner. Whatever expense there is, I'll stand. The game's over.
When my sister asked me who I was going driving with, I had to admit I didn't even know your name.
William Barton. Was she shocked?
I assured her you were a gentleman.
Bless you.
I think she was rather pleased that I'd met someone out here I liked.
You must have more admirers than you can shake a stick at.
Oh, the thing is, most of the men out here are so crude or rough. Or even beasts like that horrible Sidewinder.
Forget about him.
It's an awful thing to say, but I'm glad he's dead.
Oh? Heard about that.
Yes, my brother-in-law, Tim Maloney, told us about it at breakfast this morning.
It was an unfortunate affair.
Tim said he never saw anyone so quick on the draw as that Pharaoh Bill. One minute he was sitting there shuffling cards, and the next instant, bullets flying all over the place.
Only 2.
Oh, were you there?
I'm Pharaoh Bill.
You? Oh, no.
I should have told you.
I'd never have gone out with you had I known.
I shot in self-defense.
Ask your brother-in-law. Ask anybody. Things like this happen.
In dives, yes. I had no idea you were a professional gambler.
What's wrong with being a gambler?
What's wrong with it? Nothing, except no decent, self-respecting man would be one.
The game I run is on the level.
They're all crooked.
You don't know anything about it. You're like all these good women. You belong in a... You don't belong out west.
Take me home, please. I'm sorry. Don't touch me, you tin horn.
Did you have a nice drive? He looks like quite a lady killer.
He is a killer. He's the man who shot the Sidewinder. Pharaoh Bill, the gambler.
And you thought he was a gentleman. Oh, are you all right, dear? Oh, that was a close call.
Hey, what's the idea?
I'm folding.
You're not leaving town.
Yep, on the 4 o'clock stage.
It's not on account of the shooting.
Could be.
Oh, now, look, Bill, nobody in Darwin holds that against you. In fact, they're kind of grateful you rid the town of a bad hombre.
Well, so long.
Just when I had a new system worked out that I wanted to try, too.
Tim, can't you sit somewhere except right in front of the stove?
This is the warmest place there is.
Go in the other room. Oh, go out and take a walk.
I don't want to go out for a walk.
You're not feeling sick, are you?
No, I just got nothing to go out for.
What happened to the big casino, your home away from home?
It ain't the same without a Pharaoh game. Pharaoh Bill left town.
Did you hear that, Grace?
Yes.
I guess public opinion was just too strong.
Oh, public opinion? Heck. Every man in Darwin was on his side. Something just got into him. What's eating her?
I was afraid of it. I guess she really cares for that gambler.
I can't see how anybody in their right mind wants to go hear a lecture on the art of basket weaving in the Polynesian Islands.
It's educational.
Now, if they give us a hula dancer, are you interested in basket weaving? Well, if it isn't Pharaoh Bill. Pharaoh Bill, you're back.
We just got here.
That's great. You're going to be doing business at the same old stand?
As soon as I get this fella fed and bedded down, meet Butch.
Hiya, Butch.
Hello. Tim, we mustn't be late.
I got myself roped into a lecture on basket weaving, but I'll see you later.
Who was the boy with him?
His name's Butch, that's all I know.
You don't suppose it was his own son?
Could be.
But that would mean that Pharaoh Bill was married.
Well, if you're so interested, why don't you go back and ask him yourself?
It's not on my account.
Well, I couldn't care less.
Catch it, Kitty.
Her name's Samantha.
Oh.
What's your name?
Butch.
Butch what?
He's a good jumper.
You're the little boy I saw with Mr. Burton the other day.
Who? Oh, you mean Bill.
Oh, then he's not your father.
No, ma'am. If he has kittens, will you let me have one of them?
Well, that won't be for quite a while, I'm afraid.
That's all right. I'll wait.
Oh, you're planning to stay on here then in Darwin?
Yes, ma'am.
You come over any time you want to play. I like little boys.
I like you. You're nice.
Well, thank you.
Seems like all I do is wash dishes or peel potatoes.
Where's my gun?
Tim, what's happened?
The kid's gone. Pharaoh Bill can't find hide nor hair of him.
Butch?
Yeah. We don't know what happened to him, whether he's lost or run away or what, but the whole casino's joining in the search.
He's not in here.
Butch! Butch!
Butch? Butch?
Butch! Thanks, Grace. I sure need it. I'm beat.
They'll find him.
Maybe he's been stolen.
This will do you good.
I should be out looking for him instead of wasting time in here.
Samantha, our cat. I'd forgotten all about her.
Sounds like she's been shut in someplace.
I noticed she hadn't eaten her supper. Samantha, kitty. So that's where you are. How did you get yourself locked in a closet? Bill, Tim, Harriet, come quick, everyone. Look.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Butch! Are you all right, boy?
Where's Samantha?
It's right here in the house.
Don't tell me you've been right here in this house all the time.
I was making a nice cozy bed for Samantha, and I guess I fell asleep waiting.
The whole town's been looking for you. You had us scared half to death.
I'm sorry. Where'd Samantha go?
Into the kitchen to get her supper.
Guess I'm kind of hungry, too.
Well, you go help yourself.
Thanks!
Now, I feel pretty foolish going off the deep end like I did.
Oh, no, don't be
If
silly.
If anything would have happened to the kid, you'd have to face his folks. He has no folks.
Who is he, Bill?
His last living relative was the Sidewinder.
The Sidewinder?
How did you find out? When we went through his pockets, we found some receipts for some money orders he'd been sending to a certain party in Big Pine. So I made a trip over to investigate. The boy was in a foster home, and there was sickness there. Money or no money, they didn't feel they could keep him, so I said I'd take him. Seemed the least I could do for the man I'd killed. Why didn't you tell us before, Bill? I was afraid you'd think I was a sentimental fool.
I feel better now.
So do I. Let's go home, son.
Don't give any of them away. Let me have them all.
5 kittens? Where would you keep them?
Not at the big casino.
Gee, I wished we had a house.
That calls for a woman.
Would you come and live with us, Miss Grace? Couldn't you, Bill?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Last time we went driving, you said I didn't belong out west.
I was wrong.
So was I. About a great many things.
Will you, Miss Grace? Will you?
You know, the layout, it's up to you to call the turn.
Everything I have to win.
Oh, boy!
From where I sit, I'd say all 3 of them won. What do you think? And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the old ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. You oldsters in the audience may remember back around the turn of the century a desperado known as Killer Burke, who murdered at least 3 people in cold blood before the Nevada authorities finally caught up with him. The whole West, even a remote Death Valley mining camp, breathed a sigh of relief when Burke was convicted, which is the point at which my story opens. A story I call Escape.
That stage certainly is crowded. I hope it doesn't break down. I certainly hate to stay here in Death Valley all the rest of the summer.
It wouldn't be very pleasant.
I understand you're going down your own rig.
Yeah, that's right. Won't be leaving for another week, though.
Does it take that long to close up the camp?
Well, the company property around here, Myra.
Well, I certainly am glad my Jake ain't the superintendent. By this time tomorrow night, we'll be down where it's cool. Oh, morning, Evelyn.
Morning, Myra. Was there any mail, Harry?
Just this newspaper.
Later on, when I have nothing else to do. But don't lose it. It'll be the last one we'll be seeing for a while.
I still think you ought to be coming out on the stage with us, Evelyn.
We'll be following in a week.
There's no sense in your staying on here as poorly as you're feeling.
I'm not sick.
Oh, anyone can see you've not been yourself lately. All pale and draggy.
It's the heat.
And it's going to get worse every day. That's what I mean.
No, she wants to say, Myra, keep me company, hmm?
There's limits to a wife's devotion. All aboard! Oh, mercy, I've got to run. Well, goodbye, both of you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Myra.
And goodbye, Death Valley. See you in September.
Happy summer.
Come on, Eddie!
Well, alone at last, hmm? You don't think Myra suspects anything, do you?
Nobody in camp suspects anything.
That remark of hers about your looking all washed out.
They all regard us as a model couple, the soul of devotion.
Makes me feel like a hypocrite.
Well, it was your idea, wasn't it? To play the part, to stick together until your promotion came through?
You agreed, Abby?
Sure I did. I've nothing against you personally, Harry.
Thanks.
What's a week, more or less, if it assures your future in the company?
You wouldn't reconsider altogether, would you? Give up the idea of a divorce?
Harry, we've been through all that before.
But you say you don't hate me.
It's the life I can't stand. Horrible, deadly dullness of it. 9 months of the year marooned in this godforsaken place where there's nothing to do, nothing to see, where nothing ever happens.
Maybe with a promotion I'll get a better break.
It'll always be the same as long as you're a mining man, Harry. I'm fed up with it. I can't take it anymore. And that's final. Seems funny not to hear the noise of the mill. The ore cars running. Night crews coming on. Town is like a tomb.
I'm going out. Check some of the buildings.
Excuse me, ma'am. Could I have a little water?
Oh, certainly. I'll fill it for you. Here's your canteen.
Thanks. How about some grub? I ain't eat all day.
Haven't I seen you someplace before?
You might have. I've been prospecting hereabouts for quite some time. My burro disappeared with all my gear. Doggone his hide. I hoofed it all the way up here to rustle me up some more supplies. I found the camp closed down, deserted.
No, it's not.
Then what are all the buildings doing dark?
Folks have gone to bed.
Everybody except you? You can't fool me, lady.
My husband just went out. I'm expecting him back any minute.
Has he got a horse?
No, but he's armed.
You don't say. How big of a man is he?
Very big and very strong.
Good. Then his clothes will just fit me. What size shoe does he wear? I ask you what size?
I don't know.
Well, fetch me a pair and let me see. You heard me. Where does he keep them?
In there.
All right, I'll go along with you. I'm not letting you out of my sight. Well, they fit me just like a glove. While I'm tying this stuff up, you pack up some grub. And don't take all day. What's that?
A sack.
Feed, huh? And you told me you didn't have a horse. Where is it?
Out back.
Is there a saddle out there, too?
There's no saddle.
You're alive.
There's a buckboard.
Oh, a rig, huh? Now that makes things even better. I can take more stuff with me. Finish filling this up. Then me and you're going out together and see if you're telling me the truth. Nice, respectable rig. Hold this lantern while I hitch up the team. Is that your old man?
Evie, is that you?
Answer him, just like everything's all right.
Evie?
Yes, Harry?
Oh, what are you doing out here?
Stand right where you're at, mister, and put up your hand.
He said he was a prospector out of water. He came to the door.
So he was armed, was he? Why, you lying Jane.
Why, you...
Harry!
You the only two here in camp? Answer me!
Yes!
No other horses? Good. And there'll be no need for me to hurry. I'll stay here tonight and rest up. And leave the first thing tomorrow morning. All right, get inside. Come on, hold that mirror still. Hand me that towel over here. You know, a shave and some clean clothes sure makes a man feel different. Well, I almost feel respectable. Now, let's step into the setting room so I can be comfortable. After you, ma'am. Where do you think you're going, sweetheart?
Out to the kitchen to make some coffee.
All right, but don't try anything funny. I'll take it out on your old man. Where do you keep your cigarettes?
I don't. I smoke a pipe.
You wouldn't slip me a Mickey Finn, would you, lady?
What's a Mickey Finn?
Smart dame. You drink some of it yourself. Well, right good coffee. You know, mister, a wife can make coffee like this. Somebody to hold on to. try that again, mister, and I'll kill you. All right, lady. Pick up that gun and hand it over here to me. Real careful like. Well, I knew if I waited long enough, I'd find out where you kept your gun. Get back over there and mind your knitting. Thanks for your hospitality.
I suppose you'll realize you're leaving us with no way of getting out of here. And supplies for only a couple of days.
Well, that's your worry, brother. It's your lives or mine. And mine happens to be worth more by $5,000. Well, it looks like we're in for quite a scorcher. Now stand right where you're at till I'm out of sight. Get up.
Oh, Harry!
What a nightmare.
I didn't think I'd live through it.
You were wonderful, Evie.
Harry, what are we going to do now?
Well, the only thing as I see it is for me to hoof it into Shoshone and get help. Borrow a rig.
Walk 40 miles in this heat?
I could travel by night. But luck, I should be able to make it Thursday morning. Be back the day after.
I'm going with you.
Evie, that's impossible.
Well, it's not safe for you to go alone. Something might happen.
I'll be all right.
Harry, don't leave me here. Suppose he came back.
He's got everything he needs. Food, water, horse and rig. That's what makes me so all-fired mad. To have that murder right under a roof for more than 8 hours. And then to have to stand here and watch him drive off in my clothes as fine as you please.
We could only get word to the sheriff.
By the time I reach Shoshone, Burke will be clear out of the state. The tunnel. You know, the one through the mountain, where the railroad runs down to the mines.
What about it?
Evie, if I cut through there on the ore car, I can save time.
Where would that bring you out?
Right near the main road, where it rounds the mountain.
The same road he's traveling, Killer Burke?
Yes. Evie, if I start right now, I can reach that spot first. Intercept him.
Are you crazy?
There's a gun stowed in the way in the company office.
Harry, he's one of the deadliest killers in the country.
Yes, and he'll go right on killing as long as he's at large.
But not you, Harry. Not you.
Here are the keys to the office. The gun's in the top drawer of my desk. I'll get the engine warmed up.
Harry!
There's no time to lose, Evie. Get going.
Here.
Good. You brought two.
The other one's for me.
What?
I'm going with you, Harry.
Evie, no.
Don't argue.
But it's dangerous.
So was last night. You might need help. Anyway, whatever happens, I want to be with you.
Evie, let's go. stay back now. Yeah? Get your hands up there, Burke. All right, throw your gun down here. Come on, be quick about it. All right, get down.
It's too bad that you didn't stay back where I left you. Now you're going to have a change of address. 6 foot underground.
Give me that strap out of the wagon. Come on, Bert, get around there. Get around the back of the wagon. Move! Sit up in there.
Hey, Sheriff! Sheriff? Hello, Harry.
Hi, Whitey. Got some freight here for you.
Why'd you kill a bird?
That's right.
How'd you get him?
Well, it's a long story. Hey, Evie? Let's talk about that inside. It's hot in blazes out here, and my wife's had about all she can take.
You go ahead and look after her. I'll take care of the killer. I guess you know this came COD.
What?
Invoice reached $5,000.
Hey, that's right. $5,000, Evie. We'll talk about that later, Whitey.
All right, let's go.
Nine months of the year in a desert mining camp.
That'll suit me just fine.
Isolated, dull.
I've had enough excitement to last me the rest of my life.
Are you sure, Evie?
I love you, Harry.
So Killer Burke accomplished at least one good thing before he went to his execution, although he never knew it, nor did anybody else, except the two concerned. And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. This is the story of a young man who went west to search for gold in the earth of Nevada and found it instead in a fame that extended around the world. When all his mining ventures had failed, he took a job as a reporter on the Virginia City Enterprise, where he first used the pen name destined for greatness, Mark Twain. But more than his name was born there. Virginia City gave Mark Twain a rugged frontier style of humor that almost ended his career the year after it began. I call the story 15 Paces to Fame. It is the spring of 1864, and the country is engaged in civil war. The Virginia City Sanitary Fund Commission is raising money for the 100,000 soldiers lying wounded in hospitals. Mark Twain, already the most popular humorist of the Comstock country, is right in there pitching.
Quiet, quiet, please. For once, I'm going to let an editor from a rival paper give you a piece of news. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the man who has christened this flour sack cavalcade the Army of the Lord, Mr. Mark Twain of the Territorial Enterprise.
Thank you, Tom Fitch of the Virginia Daily Union. Friends, I got a powerful lot of words inside of me.
You sure have, Mark. Lots of them you can't use here.
But I'm going to save them for my column in the Enterprise. Because this is a time to give it to you short and sweet. The rival armies of General Grant and General Lee are converging on Richmond. And with every step, soldiers are bleeding with 1,000 wounds. But that's why we're here. Because boys in blue and boys in gray need bandages and condensed milk and beefsteak. And we mean to give them what they need. This handsome young Southerner, Mr. Rennell Gridley, had to carry this sack through the streets of Austin because he lost an election bet. When he got through, he put it up for auction, and the town paid $3,500 for it.
Then he took it to Silver City and Dayton and raised $4,000 more.
And our neighbors at Gold Hill put up $7,000. Now, what's Virginia City going to do?
Cover the entire amount.
My sentiments exactly. Now, who'll make the first bid?
25.
65. Wait a minute. Let's have one at a time.
The staff of the Territorial Enterprise bids $150.
Sold to the Enterprise for $150. Who'll buy next?
The employees of the Daily Union bid $300.
Sold to the Union for $300. He's trying to show us up.
Papa, it was Gans who made that bid. I know his voice.
I'm proud of your lad, but I'm going to outdo him.
I bid $500. Sold to Tom Cochran for $500. All right. Who makes the next bid? Speak up, the next bid.
Hello, Gene. Mr. Cochran.
Gans, I heard your bid.
I guess we showed up the Enterprise, huh?
I'm going over there to give Mark Twain a news item as soon as this is over.
You mean you'd actually give news to a paper that's our bitter rival?
Better keep an eye on her, Gantz. Could be she just wants an excuse to talk to Mark Twain.
Oh, Papa.
Why would you want to talk to that big liar?
Liar?
Well, isn't he? Writing silly hoaxes about a petrified man that never existed and a terrible massacre that never happened.
He was being funny.
Funniest stuff I ever read in my life.
I guess a mere cub reporter doesn't cut any ice around here.
If you're talking about this cub, he just happens to be the man I love.
Well, that's more like it.
Joe Goodman's going to be mighty sore if he finds out we spent most of our time selling flour instead of getting out that paper.
I haven't it. If Goodman doesn't get back here and take his job off my neck, my brains are going to blow out. Every night, it's think, worry, and suffer, trying to fill an editorial column.
How about an editorial, Governor? You got it ready?
You chuckle-headed jokist, you know I haven't even thought of a subject.
You better get out the encyclopedia and shoot it to me fast.
Hey.
There wasn't anybody in the outer office.
Come in.
I brought a little news item, Mr. Twain. It's about the Carson City Fancy Dress Ball. The ladies of Carson are putting it on for the sanitary fund.
You're the Virginia City correspondent.
Oh, no, nothing so impressive. But my aunt is on the committee. And she was hoping a lot of people from Virginia City might drive down.
Are you going to be there?
Oh, yes, are you? I mean, I know my aunt would be very thrilled if you could come.
Well, now. Seems to me it's in my line of duty as a newspaperman to cover such an important occasion.
Oh, Mr. Twain, would you?
You can count on it.
Darling, you're the most beautiful girl of all.
I would have coughed discreetly, but I didn't want to spoil anything so obviously enjoyable.
I hope you won't write it up in your column.
You won't find a word under my byline.
Mr. Twain, there's something I've been dying to know. How did you come to choose your pen name?
That goes back to the days when I was a pilot on the Mississippi River. It's a lead man's call. All through the night you can hear him shout, "Mark Twain! Mark Twain!"
What does it mean?
2 fathom. It was always a pleasant sound for a pilot to hear on a dark night. It meant safe waters.
I like the sound of it. So rich and strong.
When my boss sent me down here to Carson to cover the meetings of the legislature, I figured if I was going to be such a high muck-a-muck, I'd better have a name people could remember.
I'll always remember it.
Come on, Gene, let's dance.
Sucker, that's what I am.
What's the trouble, Mark? You still sweating it out with the encyclopedia?
Square-headed sucker. Letting Goodman get away with it. Having himself a time in San Francisco while I exhaust my brain fibers writing editorials for him.
Why don't you attack somebody and get the paper into trouble? That'll bring him back.
Serve him right if I did. Now I have reached into my string. Who took it?
Took what?
My candle.
Steve.
Dag.
I haven't set eyes on it.
Show me the shifty slumgullion that stole it, and I'll dust your jacket off with a horsewhip.
Oh, calm down, Vesuvius. Here, you can take my lamp.
I can't abide the smoky, smelly things. Just let me get my hands on the lunkhead who expects me to write in the dark, and I'll show them.
If you're so itchy for a fight, you could start one on the paper so hot it would light up the whole office.
What are you talking about?
Remember the night the printers of the Union outbid us for the flour sack? Well, they've repudiated their bid. Haven't paid a penny.
They haven't, huh?
And I can give you another little item. The $3,000 the ladies of Carson raised at their fancy dress ball may never go to the fund. The changeable little darlings are thinking about using it for something else.
I'll take that lamp. Now, just give me all the facts, and I'll write an editorial that will scotch the paper it's written on. Steve, you first.
Well, as I heard it, it was like this.
Oh, Mother, what is it? Oh, that terrible Mark Twain. Margaret, listen to this. It is stated that the money raised at the sanitary fancy dress ball recently held in Carson has been diverted from its legitimate course and is to be sent to a miscegenation society somewhere in the East. Oh! Tom Cochran, I want you to go out and horsewhip that man.
Let me see that paper.
Well, the man's joking. He says right here that this is a hoax.
But not all hoax, he says, for an effort is being made to divert those funds from their proper course. I'll take it up with my committee. We'll send a letter to the paper, and we'll get this impossible Mark Twain fired.
Mr. Laird, have you seen today's Enterprise?
No. What's our rival up to now?
Listen to this. How is it the union overbid us for the flour, and now we are told, has repudiated the bid? We would like to know about this matter if we may make so free.
Who dared write that?
Mark Twain. Who else?
Well, this time he's gone too far.
But it's something.
Have you seen today's Union?
No, what are they saying?
You sure stirred up a hornet's nest, Mark. Listen to what they say about us. Last year, the Enterprise itself appeared for a long time on the sanitary fund delinquent list.
Listen to this. Now they're accusing us of delinquency with a string of despicable stuff, knotted so full of lies that there was not left a space sufficient for the smallest thread of truth.
Never before have we found an opponent who conveyed in every word such a groveling disregard for truth, decency, and courtesy as to seem to court the distinction of being understood as a vulgar liar. Do you see that? Jim Laird calls me a liar.
Here's another squib that says you're an unmitigated liar, a poltroon, and a puppy.
Those are fighting words.
Yes, sir, that settles it. This calls for blood.
Blood?
Well, he's right, Mark. You can't let Jim Laird insult you like this. You've got to demand a blood atonement.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I fight with a pen, not a 44.
Oh, this fight's gone beyond that. You can't let any man call you a liar, a poltroon, and a puppy and live.
No, sir, you can't. Not if you got any red blood in your veins.
Well, I got plenty of red blood in my veins. And I want to keep it there.
Oh, Mark, look, this is your chance to become a big man on the mountain. Well, look at Joe Goodman. He crippled Tom Fitch for life in a duel.
Look at me. I faced 3 men at 15 paces. Wounded to kill them all.
Here's your chance to get a notch on your gun butt. If you kill a man in a duel, you'll be more looked up to than as if you killed 2 men any other way.
I got no hankering to kill any man. Besides, I can't hit the side of a barn. I'll write another editorial.
You'll write a letter to Jim Laird.
I will.
Unless you want to be disgraced forever and ever.
Well, no, but...
I'll help you write it. You'll demand a public retraction of his insults or satisfaction on the field of honor.
And I'll deliver to Jim Laird in person. It's funny we haven't heard from Laird.
He won't fight me.
After that letter you wrote?
You wrote.
He'd have to be bloodless as a fish to let that pass. Maybe that's his answer.
I hope not.
Here you are, Mark. Messenger just brought it from the Union.
Well, go ahead, read it.
It's not from Laird at all. It's signed J.W. Wilmington. He claims he wrote that article. Says he has nothing to retract.
Oh, probably some cub reporter.
That poltroon puppy squib was signed printer. He must be the one.
Well, it's a sure thing Laird wrote the other one.
Of course he did. Furthermore, he's responsible for both of them.
You're right. He's the editor. Look, we're not fooling around with any cub. We want the top man.
Right.
Any further attempt to make a cat's paw of any other individual, and thus shirk a responsibility that you previously assumed, will show that you are a cowardly sneak. I now peremptorily demand of you the satisfaction to a gentleman without alternative.
Brother, that ought to get him.
I've sent for you, Gans, because I have a favor to ask.
Anything at all I can do, Mrs. Cochran.
I know you're very loyal to your newspaper and to Mr. Laird.
Yes, ma'am.
Gans, I have a letter I want you to take to him.
A letter?
Yes, and I want you to put it into his hands personally. Oh, it's something he'll be very glad to publish.
Well,
Gans, I didn't know you were here.
I asked him to come on a little personal matter.
I'll be glad to give Mr. Laird the letter, Mrs. Cochran.
Oh, Mother, not the letter from the committee.
Why not? We've sent it to the Enterprise and had no response. Now, I intend to see that it's published in the Union. I'll get it for you, Gans. And I expect you to keep your promise.
Gans, you mustn't. Mr. Twain is in enough trouble already with this feud between the papers.
Just why are you so concerned about him?
Because I'm sure it's all a misunderstanding. He was only joking.
Then he's carried his joke pretty far. Today he challenged Mr. Laird to a duel.
Oh, no. Is Mr. Laird going to accept?
Well, if he won't, I know a half a dozen men on the Union who will, including me. I just hope I'm the one that gets a chance at him.
Gans, you can't have a duel with Mark Twain. You're a terrific shot. You might kill him.
That's a general idea.
You hot-headed fool.
I'm a fool, all right, imagining you were in love with me. But that's a mistake I won't make again. If you're so mad about Mark Twain, go get yourself engaged to him. Maybe you'll have the pleasure of bearing him.
I know Mr. Laird will publish the letter and make something dreadful of it.
He already has. One of my men got it right off the press.
The Enterprise libel of the ladies of Carson. Oh, Mr. Twain, even though you meant it as a joke, couldn't you just apologize before it causes any more trouble?
As it happens, I wrote the chairman of the committee an apology yesterday. But I can't print a public apology just now. You see, challenges have already passed between me and Mr. Laird.
I know. I had a fight with my fiancé over it, and he broke our engagement. He said the whole union staff wants to shoot you.
If I've done violence to your love life, I deserve to be shot.
Mr. Twain, please don't have a duel with Gans. I'm awfully mad at him, but I'm terribly in love with him.
Don't you worry. I don't intend to fight your Gantz or anybody except Jim Laird. And just between us, I'm counting on keeping that fight on paper. Hey, Steve, I got an answer from Laird.
Well, what does he say?
He won't fight. He's still hiding behind that printer.
If you decline to meet him after challenging him, you will prove yourself to be what he charged you with being, a liar, a poltroon, and a puppy.
And as such, cannot be entitled to the consideration of a gentleman.
Trying to shield his craven carcass behind Wilmington when he knows it's its own scandalous editorial I challenged.
You can't let him get away with that. The thing to do is to post him as a coward in the Morning Enterprise.
Well, now, just a darn minute. We don't want to carry this thing too far.
Too far? After his libelous attack? Mark, you've got to pull the honor of the paper.
But not necessarily. I don't claim to be a gentleman. My family was in trade.
Then you're a yeoman. You're entitled to bear arms. Come on. I'll help you write a challenge that'll send him straight for his 44. Here. Right.
Mark Twain has denounced me as an abject coward in this morning's Enterprise. I'm going to have to fight or leave the country. Tom, I'll sell you my 1/3 interest in the Union for half its value on credit if you'll assume responsibility for my article and fight Mark Twain.
Well, can I buy you out and then apologize to Mark?
My partners won't stand for it. Somebody's got to fight him or it'll ruin the paper.
Mark and I are personal friends. I decline to shorten his young and beautiful life. And I know he wouldn't want to be guilty of my taking off. Now, I'll buy into your paper, Jim, but I decline to buy into your fight.
Oh, yeah.
Mark, it's way past midnight.
May as well give up, Dag. Looks like there isn't going to be any duel. And a darn good thing, considering that new law they just passed against it.
Oh, they'll never enforce that in this territory. Mark, it's here.
From Laird?
Oh, go ahead, man. Open it.
Well, what does it say?
He's accepting my challenge. He'll meet me at sunrise.
Borrowed this from a farmer down the road. Make a good practice target.
Now, just figure that this rail is Laird. He's about that skinny, and aim at the squash. If there's any intellectual difference between it and Laird's head, it's in favor of the squash. Mark? Hey, Mark, what are you looking at?
I guess a man has a right to enjoy the scenery when it's his last day on Earth.
Oh, don't be pessimistic. You've got a good chance. Come on, let's pace it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Get out your coat.
Why, it's barely daylight. How do you expect me to hit that target?
It's as dark as the inside of a cow.
You know the rules. At the count of 1, you start raising your gun slowly. 1, 2, 3, fire, stop. On the word stop, you fire, but not sooner. Now go ahead. 1, 2, 3, fire, stop. Now you advance and go on firing at your pleasure.
Pleasure? If I advance at my pleasure, I'd let out with my off hind foot over that ridge. What's that?
It's Laird. Get seconds of rehearsing him over the ridge.
Hurry up, Mark. Advance. You're each allowed 6 shots.
You mean Laird gets 6 shots at me?
Sure. Advance. Come on, Mark.
Well, you didn't hit the squash.
Didn't hit the rail either.
What about the barn door?
Oh. No, there's not a bullet hole in it. Not even a nick.
I'm a dead man.
I promise you one thing, Mark. If worse comes to worse, we'll give you a fine obituary.
Give me the gun.
So what's the idea?
A mud hen. I got it. Here, Mark, take the gun. Here comes Laird seconds.
Who shot the head off that mud hen?
My man, Mark Twain.
How far off was he?
Oh, about 30 paces.
Yeah? Can he do that often?
Every time. He could do it from twice that far.
We'll be back later. He must be a terrific shot, sir.
Well, in that case, I won't fight him.
But you hit your target 13 times out of 18.
I don't care. I'm not going to get up against that man. Why, it'll be murder.
Then I'll fight him.
Go ahead. Fight him. If you want to be killed. I am getting out of town.
Thank heaven I found you.
What did you come here for? To save Mark Twain?
I came to save you. Although I can't imagine why. You're almost as stupid as I am for being madly in love with you.
Well, Mark, now that your expert shooting ended the duel, how do you feel?
Like I've been drinking 100-yard red eye and been drugged through a hole as big as nothing. But mighty glad to be alive.
Sir, a message came to the office from the governor.
Governor, it's a new law prohibiting dueling.
He said Judge Smith's got a warrant out for your arrest.
Smith? He's the one I wrote that comical article about, isn't he?
Yes, sir. And he's going to make an example out of you. The governor suggests that if you don't want to spend 2 years in the state prison, you better get across that state line before the warrant catches up with you.
You know, I just think I'd better take the governor's suggestion.
And that's how it was that Mark Twain walked the 15 paces that took him out of Virginia City and on up the road to fame, a fame so international that he became the most widely read humorist in the world. the Old Ranger with an exciting new story of real life in the Old West.
There's an old saying that politics makes strange bedfellows, but I'll say that prospecting makes even stranger ones. Take this case of a retired Army officer who arrived here in Arizona in the 1880s with a grub stake looking for a partner. I'll call our story, for reasons I'm sure you'll understand later, Fair Exchange.
Pardon me, sir. I'm trying to locate Mr. Stoner. The mining man. He was referred to me by a friend back east.
Oh, Charlie Stoner.
Could you direct me to his office?
See that building across the street? The road to ruin? That's where he generally transacts his business.
Thank you. Will it be? I'm looking for a Mr. Charles Stoner. I was told I might find him here.
Right down there, end of the bar. Fella trying to bum a drink.
Oh, no, there must be some mistake. Mr. Stoner is a mineralogist, a mining consultant.
Hey, Charlie, gentleman here wants to consult you.
Two whiskeys. I'm Major George Bullock. Our mutual friend, Captain Boyd, tells me you know more about ores than any man in Saline County.
In the whole stinking territory. What you got in mind, mister? I mean, Major.
Let's sit down. I was stationed at Fort Whipple for 3 years, so I know something about the desert, but I've had no practical experience in mining or prospecting.
That's where I come in. Everything that Boyd told you about me, Major, was true. I'm a rock hound from way back.
A long way back.
Oh, I know I sort of lost my grip. This devilish drink. But I can lick that. Give me a job to do away from all these deadfalls, and I'll be as good as I ever was. I swear it. All I need is a chance, Major. Just give me a chance. Couple of months. 1 month.
Well, I suppose I've got nothing to lose.
Done. Hey, Pop, bring us... Oh, I'm sorry.
You're on the wagon as of right now. Partner?
Yes, sirree. How soon do you want to start?
Now it's to terms.
You name them.
I provide the grub stake.
And me the know-how.
Share and share alike.
Come on around to the house and meet my wife. This will be the best news that Phoebe's had in years.
Uh-oh. My bag.
Did you get rid of him?
I beg your pardon.
Never gives up hoping, Charlie don't, that he can bamboozle somebody into grub staking him. But it won't be a tough old army man, will it, Major?
He came all the way out here from the east with my name in his pocket.
I wanted to go prospecting for gold ever since I was a young shavetail.
He came to the right place, didn't he, Phoebe?
My husband's had plenty of experience.
Where's my bedroll, do you know?
With the rest of your stuff. What's left of it.
Seems like old times again. packing an outfit. Oh!
He's like a kid.
You're the answer to his prayer, Major.
He might be the answer to mine.
Charlie really does know.
Let's hope he finds some.
He'll do his best. I think it's only fair to warn you, Major.
Phoebe? I can't find my kit. My assay kit. You got any idea where it went?
You sold it, Charlie.
Sold it? Oh, yeah.
He pawned nearly everything that wasn't nailed down.
I can provide whatever we need.
Major, please don't let my husband get his hands on any money.
Why?
This weakness of his for liquor, you just can't trust him. Oh, I don't mean he's dishonest.
I understand.
He wants to get back on his feet. He wants to the worst way.
I'm sure he will.
I'm glad you have faith in him. Because nobody else in the world has.
How about you?
I'm his wife.
Anybody there? Good. We can move in. We're in luck, Major. Find headquarters all set up for us.
You plan to stay here?
Sure.
So near town?
What's that got to do with it? If there's gold here,
Is there?
that's what we're going to find out. Well, everything's shipshape. Oh, say, pretty fancy cufflinks, Major.
A gift from a very fine woman. Very much like your Phoebe.
Scorpion. I got him. Well, guess I'll get up in the old bunk.
Is that late? I say exactly 8:32. What do you say?
Nothing. I don't own a watch. I just go by my stomach. Well, good night, Major.
You mind if I read a while?
Not if you can keep your eyes open. More than I can do. Oh.
What's that? Who's there?
What? Huh? What happened?
Heard a noise.
Oh, for gosh sake, Major, it's only some little night critter.
Well, I don't like them in my bedroom. Well, you know what I mean.
Well, you better get back to sleep, Major. We got a lot of work to do tomorrow. Good morning, Major.
Charlie, you seen my watch?
Your watch?
Right beside my bunk last night. Now it's missing.
Huh. Sure it ain't in your own pocket?
No.
Huh. Well, that's the darndest. I heard a watch is running down before, but never away.
This is no joking matter, Charlie.
It'll show up.
It better. Before the end of the day, Charlie.
I'll rustle us some coffee.
Still doesn't make sense to me prospecting so near town.
Gold's where you find it.
Any gold around here been discovered long ago.
They found gold right on the buildings on the main street.
Like saloons? What's wrong?
Oh, this pick. Hasp's come loose. I'll have to go back to the shack and get another one.
Well, let's call it a day.
No. Won't take me long. I'll be right back.
What are you up to now, Charlie?
I'm sorry.
Replacing something that's missing?
If you think I took that watch of yours...
Then what were you doing in my bag? Looking for my stick pin, maybe my medal? Or was it my cufflinks?
No, I didn't touch them.
Let's stop playing games, Charlie. Why were you snooping in my bag?
If you must know, I was looking for a bottle. My hide was fairly cracking. Oh, I know I had no business. I'm ashamed of myself. But it won't happen again, Major, I promise.
Simply because I have no bottle. I'm going back to work, Charlie. But what I said this morning about that watch being replaced before the end of the day still goes.
Major. Nothing.
Charlie?
Charlie! Charlie! Hey, Pop, fill her up.
Ain't you had about enough for one night, Charlie?
I want to get drunk. That's my business.
Okay. Okay.
I thought I'd find you here. All right, Charlie, fork him over. Charlie, what'd you do with him?
Well, if it ain't the Major. What'll it be?
My gold watch and cufflinks. He stole them.
Well, I ain't seen nothing of him. He's paid for his drinks in cash.
Then he must have hocked them. All right, Charlie, where'd you hock them? Charlie, what did you do with my things?
Things. Beautiful things.
Keep an eye on it.
Where are you going?
To get the sheriff. I'll be back when he sobers up.
It'll be a good 24 hours. He's got a real skinful.
I'll go out and break up camp. The only reason he chose that place is so he could hightail it back to town. His own wife warned me.
Yeah, this will be a real blow to Phoebe.
Good night, Sheriff.
Good night.
Got your message, Sheriff.
I thought you might worry if Charlie didn't come home.
I didn't even know he was in town. I'll take him as soon as he's in any condition.
You, prepared to go bail?
Bail? Since when is getting drunk a crime?
Phoebe, your husband was locked up on a charge of grand larceny.
Oh, no. Who?
Major Bullock.
Please. You know Charlie. He won't try to run away. I'll be responsible.
I can get in trouble on...
Please, Ed.
Well, I don't think Charlie'd ever do anything to hurt you. All right.
Why did you do it? He trusted you.
Trusted my foot. He was double-crossing me.
Charlie, there's no excuse ever for stealing.
I took nothing but what was rightfully mine.
His watch and cufflinks.
Half of them nuggets belonged to me.
Nuggets?
Share and share alike. That was the agreement.
Did you say nuggets?
Sure. That buzzard struck gold and never told me. Hid it under his bunk where he thought I wouldn't find it.
Charlie, are you telling me the truth?
How do you think I got the money to get drunk? Oh, I know I shouldn't have fallen off the wagon, Phoebe, but I was so darn mad.
I'm mad, too. Come on. We're gonna drive out there right now and settle a few things with Mr. Major.
Hello, Major. Surprised to see me?
Well, how did you get out?
He was let out for good behavior.
Well, now, his being out probably explains what happened to my medal and my stick pin.
Now, look here,
They
Major.
were missing when I got back here.
Are you accusing me again? What would I want with a stupid medal?
I'm only saying...
You're a fine one to talk, you thieving hypocrite.
Charlie...
I should have had a showdown with you when I first found out, but I was a coward. That's what comes of losing your self-respect.
What in the world are you talking about? When you first found out what?
Pretended to give me a chance. A chance. All you wanted to do was to use me and then to cheat me.
Charlie may drink, but he wouldn't double-cross a partner.
What are you two talking about?
Don't play dumb, Major. I found them nuggets hid under your bunk.
And he only took his share.
No. I never saw these before in my life.
Then how did they get there?
I don't know. You can look in my bag. There's nothing there.
Nothing. Except this hole.
Looks like something gnawed it.
Well, I'll be everlastingly gall darned. We've had visitors, Major. four-legged ones. I'm sorry for all the names I just called you, Major. Do you have any more jewelry?
Well, certainly not.
No, I can't use your wedding ring.
Charlie, what are you driving at?
I gotta find something shiny.
Charlie, what in the world are you doing?
Now just sit down and stay put, even if it takes all night. And don't make a sound, or else wait outside. You too. It won't be long now.
Where are you going?
He's taking it to his nest. What did I tell you?
Why, watch.
Your medal.
That little rascal, he stole them. Charlie, Charlie. Hey, where'd he go?
Charlie, we found everything.
Charlie, I want to apologize for even thinking that you'd steal these.
Junk.
Junk?
Compared to what the critter left us in exchange. He's what's known as a pack rat or a trade rat. He's full of tricks. He can't resist stealing, especially shiny things. But for everything he takes, he leaves something in its place.
The nuggets.
The nuggets. And here's where they come from. A whole ledge of gold. We've struck it rich.
Partners.
And that's the story how one of the great gold mines of Saline, Arizona was discovered. It made its owners rich. But more than that, it made a mannequin of Charlie.
ড্রেস চেঞ্জ করতেছিস? চেঞ্জ করিস না, চল একটা টিকটক বানাই। টিকটক? হ্যাঁ টিকটক, চল।
স্যার নর্মাল আছে প্রেশার, নিচেরটা 80, উপরটা আছে 120। ঠিক।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
খামটা দে।
স্যার এটা কি আশ্চর্য দেখছিস, 1000 টাকা দিল প্রেশার মারতে। তাও
তুই জানিস উনি কে? উনি শহরে অনেক বড় ধনী লোক। এমন কোনো মসজিদ মাদ্রাসা নাই যে উনি দান করেন নাই। এমনকি আমাদের এই হাসপাতালও ওনার চ্যারিটি হেল্প ছিল।
ও ভালো লোক।
ড্রেস চেঞ্জ করতেছিস? চেঞ্জ করিস না, চল একটা টিকটক বানাই। টিকটক? হ্যাঁ টিকটক, চল। ঠিক আছে, এই ড্রেসটা পরবো, এটা পর।
আমার সুবিধার লোক মনে হইতেছে না। কি কইতেছেন আপনি? কি কইতেছেন?
গায়ে হাত দিছেন কেন?
গায়ে দিও মানে এ বড় গায়ে দিলে কি করবে? একদম গায়ে
করতেছেন।
তুই তুই করতেছিস? তুই গায়ে দিলে
তুই আমি আজকে শেষ করব। তুই টাকা দে, আমার টাকা দে।
তোরে আজকে বই
না কোন রাস্তার মধ্যে আইছেন ভাই? এই এই আপনি কারে করছেন? হ্যাঁ
আরে ভাই আপনারে কই নাই, আমার কল দিছিলাম, এই কল রিসিভ করতেছ না, ওরে কইছি।
আমারে কোন মানে? এই আপনি নামেন তো, নামেন। আমি যাব না, আমি যাব না। আপনি কি কইতেছেন? হ্যাঁ
আপনি যাইবেন না কেন?
না আমি যাব না। আপনি আপনি নামেন, আমার টাকা দেন, আমি যাইগা।
দেমু না টাকা, আমারে না নিয়ে গেলে আমি ভাড়া দেমু না।
আরে আপনি কখন থেকে এই অলি গলি করতেছেন? আপনার আমার সুবিধার লোক মনে হইতেছে না, একদমই সুবিধার লোক মনে হইতেছে না। আপনি টাকা দেন, আমি যাইগা।
আমার সুবিধার লোক মনে হইতেছে না। কি কইতেছেন আপনি? কি কইতেছেন?
গায়ে হাত দিছেন কেন?
গায়ে দিও মানে এ বড় গায়ে দিলে কি করবে? একদম গায়ে
করতেছেন।
তুই 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 গায়ে দিলে
তুই আমি আজকে শেষ করব। তুই টাকা দে, আমার টাকা দে।
তোরে আজকে বই
মোটরসাইকেল করে নিয়ে যেতেছেন ভাই? এটা আমার মালিকের মোটরসাইকেল ভাই। ভাই মোটরসাইকেল নিয়ে যান না।
গাড়ি থামলো কেন?
স্যার একটা অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট হয়েছে।
ভাই ভাই আমার একটু বাঁচান
স্যার,
ভাই।
পেটে তো ছুরি।
মনে হচ্ছে ছিনতাই কেস।
স্যার হসপিটালে নিয়ে যাব?
আরে পাগল হইছো? এত রাতে থানা পুলিশের ঝামেলা কে যাবে? চালাও গাড়ি।
স্যার যে অবস্থা, মনে হয় না বাবু।
ভাই যাই না ভাই। ও ভাই আমার একটু হসপিটাল।
Ngoài bia à? Để đi. Dấu Nami. Sao? Sao tay tàn hình vậy? Hết rồi, hết dây vít của MSK rồi. Một con này, 3 con, 4 con, 4 con, 5 con. Vẫn không đủ. Pet tôi hết rồi hả? Em mày pet sao không rồi. Lao rồi. Đây vừa lắc pet cắn lắc thế. Có setting đồ họa tomato mà tomato đâu. Bảo sao không bật, bảo sao đi đặc biệt sao cái lúc vỡ nhiều đấy, ngu luôn mà. Dòng mà có tên thằng hai rao nhé. Hai đấy, số điện thoại ngay bên trên đầu với cả gori đờ trên đầu mình. Rồi lại lỗi cái này. Đấy, ăn rồi. Bảo nhìn nó làm gì? Ăn được, mà cần đổ xăng đấy. Wow. Thì nâng cấp về phẩm về mất tiền. Đây, bố tiền hơn rồi, chắc chắn là nhiều hơn người rồi. Tao có 9 xong. Giờ chết là đi luôn này. À nó có cả cái kia nữa. Thế nào? À không, mà chưa có ấn đâu cả. Tại 2 lỡ bạc với hung cương thì đéo ấn. 6 kỳ quái, 3 kỳ quái 6 hình rồi. Một ấn nữa thôi là lên 7 rồi, nhớ có một ấn nữa. Cái gì à? Đấy. Thôi thôi đi thôi. À chết chết, một máu xong. Lấy cái đồ đéo như mình nghĩ rồi. Tay quá. Phải chết đi buộc tôi về. Video chỉ bàn này là sớt tiếp, không có hội vừa thằng cắt vừa rai là bút lửa chịu, nhưng là bút lửa thì chịu. Không, nó sẽ đồ siêu kinh. Là sẽ bây giờ thằng SU mua thằng hoa SU 2 là sẽ không đỡ được hết đâu. Mua thằng hoa bật rồi à? Rồi, chưa bật. Bật rồi á. Thế kiểu gì nhỉ? Vừa là Đã có Pepsi ơi. Tóc phải Pepsi ơi, mẹ ơi, ông cha của mẹ phản phụ ra là không thấy bất bạ, bắt dậy bao giờ cái tổ đội nào, dạ. Mất 10 Rainbow biết lâu điên. Đeo đôi vàng nó có gì đánh chứ. Các bạn rất hay. Học vậy nhỏ là hả? Đâu có máu đâu. Trời, lỗi. À, cần Rainbow biết làm nhiệm vụ lâu điên, có mỗi nhiệm vụ. Wow. Phá lát xéo. Rồi nó phản bội. Được lời thầy phần bạn. Bắt dậy phao đầu cái thủ đô từ nào cho họ dạ. Đấy, các bạn. Đạp người cùng của anh Nam Hải Phạm. Chứ anh sai rồi. Xí không có con lick. Không phải bỏ học. Bỏ nói vận động vật công bóng không anh phải không. Dạ gì rồi đi anh quá dữ đọc ở cử không có cái gì cho vào biết rồi một cái áo phía what và các bạn bật vào quê vượt mặt năm cận như là ruồi tí chỉ bại đây ông cháu ạ. Một người mày là một người rồi thằng này lít vip quay clip rồi cho tôi này tôi ra dễ cả vài trăm 1.5 mày nốt đi xem lại thử bắn một mày đây quay mãi được đầu tiên Tốt. Mình chiến thuật. Rồi, còn một chết. Tạo phải lắm rồi, mình khác yếu lắm. Mà làm thì vô.